Last time you said you were done, you meant it. You felt strong. You felt clear. You told yourself, I'm not going back this time. And then a few days later, you were right back in it. And it's not because you lied to yourself, or it's not even because you are weak inside, but it's because motivation doesn't show up when it actually hits. Stay with me in this video. Hey love, what's up? I'm your girl Aquana, and I don't just talk about letting go. I teach women how to stop going back when it actually hits. Not when you feel strong, when you're sitting there and it starts creeping back in. That's what I teach you to deal with. So let's get into today's video. So y'all, let's talk about why motivation feels real, because I used to do the same thing. I would feel done, and then a few days later, I'd be right back in it. Motivation, it feels powerful in the moment, just like working out. When you're motivated, you're like, oh, let's get snatched. But after an argument, after you finally see the truth, after you get tired, you feel done. And in that moment, you believe it. You feel passionate about it. But here's the problem. The woman that you are becoming, or that you would like to be in that moment, only exists when your emotions are high. And your real challenge is not what you do when you feel strong. It's what you do when you don't, because that's inevitable that you're going to have that period when you don't feel strong. And here's where motivation fails. Motivation, it doesn't fail during the day, okay? It fails you at night when it gets quiet, when something reminds you of him. When you feel it in your chest, that is when everything shifts. You stop thinking clearly and you start feeling. And now that's when your decision starts to change. And this is where most women lose. And here's what makes it worse. So you don't go back because you forgot what he did to you or what happened or why you're leaving. You go back because of a simple moment. In that moment, you didn't have any guidance. You didn't have anything to follow. So you do what feels familiar. You reach out, you check, you reopen the door back to something you didn't even want. And it's not even, again, you didn't even want him like that. You just wanted to feel relief. And relief feels like hearing his voice, getting a response, and breaking the silence. But guess what? It doesn't last. So you end up blocking him again and you start all over again. But it goes even deeper than that. So here's the pattern that you missed. Okay, hear me now, hear me good. Every time that you say, I am done, you're talking from the version of you that isn't always present. And that's why it doesn't stick. Because when it actually hits you, you're operating from a different state. And that girl, that part of you, she needs something simple, something clear, something she can follow without thinking. So you may be asking, what actually changes this? We can say willpower, or we can say motivation, but I'm not going to say more motivation. I'm not going to say more promises to yourself, because when it hits, this is what you do. You don't reach out. You don't explain. You don't reopen anything. And here's what happens when you don't. The feeling, it peaks. Then it starts to drop. And you realize you didn't actually need to go back. That's the part most women never stay long enough to see. And that leads to the real shift. So you may ask me, Laquana, what's the shift? The shift is you stop relying on how you feel and you start following something that holds you steady when your emotions don't. Because motivation will always come and go. But what you follow, now that's what determines whether or not you go back. So listen, if you've been sitting here thinking, why do I keep starting over? And it's a valid question. Now, it's not because you don't mean it. It's because motivation, it doesn't show up when it actually hits in that moment when you're alone. And watching this is one thing, but when you're in that moment, that's where most women lose. And if you are tired of restarting, I want you to start with the reset, because you don't need more insight. You need something to follow when your emotions spike. I'll see you in the next video. And most importantly, be sure you take care of your heart.